Man, oh man, oh man. This is really heartbreaking, especially those of you that are Trump supporters, because I know a lot of people are going to be jumping ship and talking crazy. And I'm sure right now the liberal population is loving all the chaos that they're seeing. There are so many narratives to this story, I don't even know where to start. I'm concerned, but I'm not.
Tonight, a feud at the Justice Department over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. A source tells Fox News tonight that the FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino, has not been seen in the office since Wednesday after a heated argument with Attorney General Pam Bondi at the White House. Our correspondent David Spunt has this story.
A verbal clash between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino at the White House this week over the release of DOJ's Epstein memo. The two-pager out earlier this week insists the convicted sex trafficker and offender killed himself, and a client list does not exist after all. Fox is told by 4 separate sources Bongino is so upset about the rollout of the memo, he didn't show up to work on Friday in protest. One source says he hasn't been seen in the office since the argument with the Attorney General. Bondi teased the release of the Epstein material for months.
The DOJ may be released.
So where do you guys stand on this? I'm sure many of you watching, a lot of you don't like this current administration, and a lot of you do. You know, I've noticed in the people that kind of watch my content kind of lean more towards Donald Trump, but I notice I've had quite a few of the other side chiming in and spewing a lot of hatred and stuff, and that's fine. But the point I'm trying to make is I think one of the things that concerns me is the whole Dan Bongino thing. You know, I was excited because I was a fan and I used to watch his podcast, and I watched him a lot during the COVID years when all the crazy was going on, all the BLM stuff, and he was very pro common sense. You know, so when he was touted to be the deputy director, I was like, yeah, got somebody in there that's going to affect change, or at least make change. You know, there were some things that happened a couple of weeks ago where it seemed like him and Kash Patel were lying or being very evasive in their answers to certain questions about this Epstein thing, and a lot of people were rubbed the wrong way. A lot of people were like you could tell by their body language that they're lying and yada yada yada. And I'll be honest with you, it concerned me because when I look at people, and I know that people are flawed, humans are flawed, you know, but following him for as long as I did, it kind of concerned me. I'm thinking, man, is he kind of just lumped in with all the other crazy people we got working in our government? But seeing this news today, I don't know what the truth is. Did he just not show up for work? Or is he really basically saying, hey, I'm done. I can't deal with this. You know, if I was him personally, yeah, I wouldn't want to quit. But again, none of us know what they're seeing on their end. You know, a lot of people are upset. They feel like they're being lied to. They just want everybody to be transparent. But what people have to realize is that we aren't privy to the information that they have. We have no idea what they have in front of them. And then again, you got to remember, how long has this stuff been going on in our government? This hasn't just been during the Biden era. This stuff has been going on with the deep state and a lot of these things for years. I'm talking like 60, 70, 80 years this has been going on. So how do you come in and try to fix all this crazy in 6 months? It can't be done. So let me get back to the video.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
But earlier this week when pressed,
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
The White House is defending the Attorney General. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, in a statement to Fox News, says the president is proud of Bondi's efforts, adding the continued fixation on sowing division in President Trump's cabinet is baseless and unfounded in reality. FBI Director Kash Patel staying silent in the matter, at least publicly. He's been criticized online, along with Bondi and Bongino, by Trump supporters who feel the administration is being dismissive and not candid about Epstein. A source close to Bongino says he's thinking about resigning over this memo rollout, although no final decision has been made. Meanwhile, sources close to Director Patel and the Attorney General say they plan to stay right where they are.
Just kind of watching that whole story. Like I said, for me, if I was Bongino, I would probably go back to my simple life. I mean, from what I remember, I like Dan Bongino. He had a really good thing going. He had a huge following. He had a podcast that he did every day. I remember when he decided to take the job, he had done a video basically saying farewell and was teared up and everything. So I don't think it would be too late for him to go back. I just hope he hasn't messed up his credibility by doing what he already did. You know what I'm saying? So, again, a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. I know a lot of people are up in arms trying to figure out what the heck is really going on. And I have my thoughts about it. And a lot of that's my thoughts on it. I'm not even going to share because this is so beyond what people can even wrap their heads around. It's not even worth getting into. Like I said, a lot of people are still asleep. But I will end on this note. One thing I do know is that, and I've said this before, Trump is no dummy. There's a method to his madness that a lot of the stuff that most of us aren't privy to, there's a reason. And again, when you look at all the crap that this man has been through during the last 4+ years, even beyond that, and you can tell just by who he is, he cares about how he is viewed. You know what I'm saying? And there's more going on here than meets the eye. And I guarantee you that it's only a matter of time before a lot of this stuff gets exposed. Again, like I said, we are not privy to the information that they have. For all we know, this information that we're trying to get information on could be something that could start a world war. We don't know. All I know is, again, I'm personally content that the man is in there. Again, is he flawed? Yes, there is no savior but Jesus. And the point I'm making is I'd rather, based on what I have seen with my own eyes, continue to watch and trust and see where this goes instead of jumping to conclusions and trying to come up with my own answers when really there's no way for you to even do that. Now, the last question when he was talking about that him and Bondi are on the same page, according to Caroline Levitt. I don't know if I agree with that because he didn't look too happy when they were sitting there in that meeting and she started talking about it and chose to talk about it. Who knows? But again, I don't believe that Donald Trump can have a filter on everybody that works for him. He can't control who's out there giving interviews to news agencies. And if you look at Pam Bondi, you can tell that she's a person that loves being in the spotlight. Look at me, look at me. That's just, you can just see it. It's written all over her. So all I can say is just stay tuned. I guess we'll have to see where this goes. But anyway, make sure you like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And as always, I love you guys, and I will check you on the next one. Later.